All right, let's talk about Holi. That spectacular, incredible festival of colors.
I mean, you've definitely seen the pictures, right? Those explosions of vibrant powder, faces lit up with joy, this feeling of just pure, uninhibited celebration. It's kind of gone viral. It's famous all over the world. And yeah, it is an amazing spectacle.
But what if I told you there's way more to it? That behind every single one of those handfuls of colorful powder, there's this profound story about unwavering faith triumphing over evil, a story that gives the whole festival its meaning.
And get this, what if I told you that making sure all that joy happens safely for millions of people involves some serious, high-stakes science? A science where the difference between proactive planning and reactive force can literally be a matter of life and death. So today, yeah, we're going way beyond the colors.
Okay, so first things first, let's get right to the heart of it. Why Holi? What's the origin story? Well, it all circles back to this foundational myth. Think devotion, a power-hungry king, and a literal trial by fire.
So, at its absolute core, Holi is all about the story of Prahlada. He was this incredibly devout follower of Lord Vishnu. The twist? His own father, a demon king, couldn't stand it and wanted him dead because of his faith. So the king's sister Holika, and this is key, she was supposedly immune to fire. She tricks Prahlada into sitting with her in the middle of a bonfire. But here's the kicker. His devotion was so pure that he was saved, while Holika, well, she perished. That's the whole point. The bonfire's lit the night before Holi, the colors the next day. It all symbolizes that ultimate victory of good over evil.
Now, what's really cool is how this one single story just blossoms into all these different ways of celebrating. The central idea is shared, but man, the traditions can look totally different depending on where you are.
And this is a perfect example of that diversity. If you go to Mathura and Vrindavan, which is kind of like the heartland of Holi, you see these two wildly different traditions side by side. On one hand, you've got Lathmar Holi, this rowdy, super playful event where women literally chase men around with sticks. It's amazing. But then you have Phoolon Holi, which is the complete opposite. It's gentle, it's serene, and people are showering each other with fragrant flower petals instead of powder. See what I mean? Same festival, totally different vibes.
And if we zoom out even further, you'll see that right around the same time as Holi, the Sikh community celebrates something called Hola Mohalla. Now, this was started by the 10th Sikh guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, and it is not about throwing colors at all. It's a showcase of valor and martial arts. It's a day for demonstrating combat skills, horsemanship, really reaffirming the warrior spirit. It's just a powerful reminder of how these incredible, distinct spiritual traditions can exist side by side.
All right, let's peel back another layer. Because these ancient traditions, they don't exist in a bubble, right? In our world today, they run smack into the massive force of commerce. And that makes things complicated.
And this quote from some research really just hits the nail on the head. The moment a festival gets super popular, it becomes a business opportunity. And look, that's not all bad, but it does make you wonder. Does the original spiritual meaning get a little diluted when it becomes a product to be sold?
So yeah, here are the two sides of that coin, laid out pretty clearly. The pros? You get a huge economic boost for local communities, and the festival gets known all over the world. But the cons are real too. Tradition can become just another commodity. That spiritual essence can fade, and the whole thing can start to feel more about shopping than celebrating. It's a real tightrope walk.
Okay, now for our final piece of the puzzle. And honestly, this might be the most critical one. When you have millions, literally millions of people gathering in one place to celebrate, how on earth do you keep them safe? I'll tell you this much, it is not about luck. It's about a cold, hard, scientific understanding of how crowds behave.
And the absolute number one concept you have to understand here is the difference between crowd management and crowd control. They sound similar, but they're worlds apart. Management is everything you do beforehand. It's proactive. It's planning the layout, the flow of people, thinking about their safety from the very beginning. Control? That's reactive. That's what you do when it's already hit the fan and you have to use force to restore order. The whole goal, always, is to manage so well that you never have to get to the control part.
Because this is the nightmare scenario that planners are trying to prevent. See, a crowd usually starts out innocently enough, just a bunch of curious people. But if things aren't managed right, that curiosity can turn into a shared, intense emotion, and suddenly you have a mob. And from there, it is a terrifyingly short jump to a full-blown riot, where logic is out the window and things can get violent fast. Stopping that progression, that is the entire job.
And here's why this science is a matter of life and death.
The single biggest killer in a crowd disaster isn't what you think. It's not usually people getting trampled. It's something called compressive asphyxia. What that means is the crowd gets so dense, so packed together, that the pressure from every direction literally squeezes the air out of your lungs. You can't expand your chest to breathe. It is a silent, terrifying killer. And it happens for one reason. Crowd density got out of hand.
So, after talking about the mythology, the diverse traditions, the commercial pressures, and the life or death science of safety, what can we say about the future of a festival like Holi?
Well, one thing is for sure. These celebrations are way more complex than they look. At their heart, they're spiritual, but they're also constantly changing and evolving. They have to deal with the modern world of business, which is a double-edged sword. And at the end of the day, their survival on this massive scale literally depends on good science and rigorous planning.
Which really leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? Moving forward, how do we strike that perfect balance? How do we protect the soul of these traditions while living in a commercial world and making sure everyone stays safe? It's all about ensuring these amazing celebrations are remembered for joy, not tragedy, for generations to come. It's a lot to think about.